Owusubempah, I don't know first time I'm already visit over it subscriber to no so.
Actually, said they knew they were going to lose the elections. They knew Bawumia was going to lose miserably. They knew Bawumia was not even going to cross 35%. When I make a show, Bawumia 38 no nyano. They are even shocked say Bawumia 38. The NPP leadership, Mahmoud Bawumia 38% no nyano. They are still shocked to say Bawumia 38. They were looking at 33, 35. So for him to even say this today, to warn our polling agent, or your NPP grassroots is a crantier, eh? Say grassroots. NPP grassroots. Mumbai Ejma, Omo refer grassroots, Omo Musamoya and crantier, Monambanjiazi. Yaka say grassroots, what is saying crantier? It's not more NPP grassroots, no. They wanted the grassroots to go and die. Nana Komia, election day not Accra. Mrs. Nana Komia. Now Otten crying. He knew Bawumia was going to lose. But one kind of grand job. This same person was giving them false hope and telling them, we are going to win. But the most important thing is Nana Komia can say for Bawumia about Bawumia handling the economy. Now Mumia go tie asema Nana Komia kan. Muntie ni pa. I want to bow some kofo omusa omo Jimmy. Omu nyina mabodam.
Bawumia was he in charge of the economy? The macro economy. Was he in charge? Oma Hinuchi said Bawumia was in charge. Only had a finance minister appointed a crew of about 14 people to manage the city. It's okay. Huh? Any pay be a mukasa assembly and no man a day parliament for him to demand the resignation of the finance minister because of the economy. NDC for a mumunka party where on a move motion of censure of parliament to remove the finance minister because of the economy. It is about me in charge of the economy. I don't know this Obama finance minister. I don't know any penny be a normally about me preno. Only the MPs. See any finance minister for real time free up because economy.
This is the problem. Very diabolic sycophants. The one we use a Tarzan. Asamenoka. Oh, was Bawumia in charge of the economy? The question of Obusa, I don't know, the microeconomy. It's more person which says that Bawumia was in charge of the economy. It's Bawumia because any role are buying money because at this point Bawumia was not in charge of everything, anything. It's just Bawumia dey pan or yeah. You can say Ejuma also Bawumia was not in charge. You can say corruption I say Bawumia knew nothing. You can say e-levy also Bawumia knew nothing. You can say NAPCO Bawumia knew nothing. You can say Kufuor the way by. Just see no economy minister yet most Bawumia wasn't in charge. It's Bawumia because any role in there. They don't know oh yeah. I can tell you, it is not a doomsday economy. It is not a dead. You see, the guy was empty from day one. Start here, Mama Chow. But if you're not, much than steady. So when you're about to hear Bawumia old interviews, I will say, hey, what ye, Bakunye?
All of these are hurting. They are hurting the economy. These taxes are hurting. And therefore, you are not going to get the growth. And when you don't get the growth, you will not get the revenue. And when you don't get the revenue, you go back to increasing taxes to get the revenue. And then you are in a cyclical downward spiral. And so they have it wrong. And we will change that particular policy. We will use the tax incentives to grow this economy. And you will...
Make a chill. Also, when you're done, I would say, hey. I've been out. Me say, I would say, I could see about me. Most you didn't quite see yourself, pap. As what can you say? Me say, okay, the interviews are no, join you, sir. Jefferson Saki and I interview. No, or we are Jefferson Saki be a Jubilee House. Me say, so when you are about to utie Bawumia old interview, because say, hey, you Jimmy, Bawumia is vague. You can so be a vague. Just a Bawumia is empathy. Or you're empty. Take your mommy. Let mama interviews better. Who goes say now go away. My mama on the speeches be share here there. Mama show there. Bawumia, mama show. Mahamudu share there. Here we. Mama show here we.
Well, that is for everybody else to judge. My point was that my point is that the single digit inflation that we are seeing is not consistent, in my driven by food prices. So, ask every, woman, man who goes to the market and ask about food prices between last year and this year and see how food prices have been increasing. My visits to the market, whether it's in Alatar or Tamale.
Me say, akwawe utie na. The more utie no, no say enkoye.
We don't have to borrow money from anywhere. Just toll the various sections of the road and we'll raise the money to do the roads in Ghana. We don't have to borrow money from anywhere. Just toll the various sections of the road and we'll raise the money to do the roads in Ghana. We don't have to borrow money from anywhere. Just toll the various sections of the road and we'll raise the money to do the roads in Ghana.
Yeah, you say ye nya would say utie ba obia o trase wo de didi numti kakra na ka say ukotie ba obia obenu ho and don't see them say omo nu omo ho no omo 31st election we ubohu so mu nu omo ho 31st election we on be no ubohu so mu nu omo ho na wan ka so omo campaign omo ye no steady campaign when they get the opportunity they will murder each other, they will kill each other, and they almost sorry are not we catch it in Japan show who you and then we sorry no kasa because the issue is a party a woman. They don't care about anybody in Ghana. They don't care about anybody. Don't forget yourselves. Mama Mure Fida Onyankopon ma one life beam as a nation. Your forefathers see a mistake to be a kekufado ejini say no. We are now coming out of this trauma. Also, we are now starting to believe in governance. We are now starting to believe in leadership. We are now massa chance in BM. We should not ever even think say we are going to forget about what has happened. Hey, this is what they did. These are things we can't forget.
It was a normal morning. Electorates began queuing very early, some as early as 6 a.m. to cast their ballots peacefully and dash to work. Early reports suggested the process began smoothly, but eyebrows were raised about the presence of heavily armed security personnel, as many as 6 per polling station across the constituency. Political party agents were vigilant and ordinary people watched from afar, but it was an unusual election day. Heavily armed masked men in bulletproof vests, dressed in black polo shirts and khaki trousers, marked NSC as agents of the National Security Council, seen in police pickups, crisscrossed the main streets towards Bawumia, a known NDC stronghold. The arrival of the operatives in Rambo style surprises all. About 25 hooded men in 5 pickups or so jump off. In a well-orchestrated plan, they run across the compound where voters had queued, waiting for their turn, creating fear and panic. Journalists begin taking pictures, and that provokes the indiscriminate mayhem visited on them. A senior immigration officer at the scene is captured placing an SOS call as he takes cover. In this video, the suspected NPP Invisible Force members are captured beating a man mercilessly, kicked in the face, whilst others pounce on any civilian in sight, punching them and beating others with the butt of their guns. The chaos forces people to flee as policemen try desperately in vain to restrain the NSC agents. After about 6 minutes, they proceed to their next target, the residence of the NDC parliamentary candidate, Delali Kwesi-Brempong, few yards away behind the Bawumia Presby Basic 1 JHS polling station. His house is besieged by the armed men, threatening to shoot as they are confronted by the NDC candidate's supporters. They point guns as they to search the house, open fire with live bullets, leaving a...
The only thing that saved us as a nation for the past 8 years was our resilience as a people, believing in what our forefathers left us, that we still have a nation that we can go through the process, that is democratic process, to save. And we all went through that democratic process. It was painful. We were scared. na ayamhyehyɛ wɔ hɔ. We didn't even believe to the point say yɛn nyinaa bɛtumi pie abɛto aba agye yɛ kuro ne back. It was tough. Asɔfoɔ were speaking in parables. Ahemfo were basically rendered useless. Mpanyinfoɔ a we expected, statesmen, stateswomen, people we have revered for years, all started panicking. Fear crept into the nation. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo became a disease. Mahamudu Bawumia became the blood for that disease. They looked on, they covered the tracks of evil men, dangerous, deliberate, blood-sucking individuals who looked in our eyes, whether old or young, and they did damage. The day Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo won election 2016 was when we were supposed to know Akufo-Addo is dangerous.
Ghana, a peaceful country and a beacon of democracy, has had violent free elections and transitioned power peacefully without any unrest or civil strife. This has become effortlessly possible because of the peace-loving leaders Ghanaians have successfully elected to lead them. President Kufuor in 2007 perfectly described the attribute of the type of person to lead Ghanaians at all times.
So anybody who is always full of tension and fighting and that sort of thing, we have to be careful about. Whether when the power is given to this person to lead us, he's the type with the experience and with all due respect, the wisdom to be able to keep the country united, to secure the nation, to gain the respect of the forces, the military, the police, the chiefs. Look out for that, because we know the history. Some people have been given power only to lose it just like that. We don't want that.
Even so, this peaceful and beautiful country was handed to Nana Akufo-Addo on the 7th January 2017 as president to lead for 4 years. Many people had reservations about his violent nature, which may have been well hidden from the public, but not from those who knew him best. Mr. Kofi Kumsen, a close friend of President Nana Addo, bluntly stated,
I can't entrust Ghana into the hands of Nana Akufo-Addo. I can't sleep. It's not safe. It's not safe. And I believe that.
Then there's Maxwell Kofujuma.
He will be a terrible president.
President Nana Addo's violent nature became immediately apparent as a warlord sponsoring his party hoodlums to attack innocent citizens and public officers alike, as was seen with the beating of ASP Nanka Bruce at the presidency in front of a paralyzed on the 9th January 2017, just 2 days after Nana Addo had been sworn in as president. President Nana Addo surrounded himself with hoodlums as bodyguards and endorsed vigilante groups such as Invincible Force and Delta Force. Members of these vigilante groups had free rein to attack anyone who was not a member of the president's political party. They went on a rampage, causing mayhem and atrocities.
Not forget ourselves. Very important. Now, today in history, at a point in this country, at a point, in Kofowe ekotam boba eto boba $2 million. Boba every Israel. Meyere oye Jew ni. Into technically Yesu oye makonta. Meyere ohu Yesu obaga say hello no etwam. In Kofowe tam Ghana sika $2 million. Etam boba. Just a stone. Enom no be sha menem enom say Onyankopon ebesi cathedral enom wiaye. This happened and they don't underestimate these people. Are we dangerous people? Sometimes I know yes I do we know. Now on see one senior high school on the bawumia, they promised the people 350 senior high schools. Time I now okotoboba with 2 million on the bawumia okotoboba with $2 million. Now on see one senior high school or Ghana one na on see na on be one factory emfa nipa baako na Commander Sugar Factory na air pro. He did not touch it. Time okoto about with 2 million. Na police for, soldier for, navy for, prison officers. No mo pe baby ada na segleme air pro. He did not care. Time okoto about we buy na dollar as we speak. Na dollar na almost 14. He didn't care. Okoto about we buy na schools under trees. Na nkwalati nuase. Time okoto boba we buy no. Na free SHS na nkwala nye duane ndi. Your papa bi your born video ebri ne ba wuye all because eduane a na ye de man nkwala no. Nkwala almost by 100 ne wu in the past 8 years ago for the president and the free SHS. No mu feed nkwala no with dog meat. This is chicken feed. Dog food. Okoto about $2 million. Private jet na kofa bae. You were talking about Sata Motoba we no na la General Hospital no mo buogu form Okoboy in Krani Abrantie otumisha G string no wa share tight jeans eguso no wa share boot bema and then the corporate sec Okoboy otumisha G string na no hwa dan chen wa jeans no wa share tight jeans no wa share boot in nam Ghana the chrome for Enkran for hospital in Banyam no mo pe baby awo no mo nyebi no omu wu no akoto boba 2
obetime de waje nkyere aba e wo comment section honom na no first time e ma wura visa obeyite subscribe button no so makramo